And for the third time in this key, if I hadn't been crap enough throughout, the War Within Mythic Plus Season 2 has started. Week 1 has just been and gone, and in this video, we're going to look at the good and the bad of every run from my Zero to Hero. Now, just before we get into it, I'm going to show you every single run from Zero to Hero in Week 1, apart from the very first run, because I completely forgot, and it was a Workshop Plus 2 and got me a massive 159 score. And from that, we jumped into another massive key, a returning one from Shadowlands. It's a +3 Theatre of Pain. Now, on the way into this, we had a massive chat about how to skip this using a couple of bits of tech from the monk. So we're sort of hesitant a little bit here. But anyway, as far as I can see, that all seems to have gone okay. And we've made it past, and no one's got aggro apart from me, but that's fine because that's the way that it's supposed to go. So all is looking good, but we'll come back to that in a moment. Now, one of the new mechanics in this is the big frontal, and our druid has not seen that coming and has gone down straight away. Now, fast forwarding ever so slightly in the fight, and I'm really not sure what happened here, but the first pack that we skipped past seems to have made its way into the arena. So now we've got all sorts of things going on. I'm a little bit short of defensive, and to be honest, I'm a little bit surprised by this whole thing, and for some reason I decided I'm going to run over to interrupt the ritualist over there and get shot in the back. Anyway, that is how the key started, but we did continue, and it's a good job that we did continue because in the end, Mordretha goes down, and we were just on the edge of 2-chesting this one. But anyway, it's a +3. Well done everyone for staying, and that gave us a massive +177 mythic rating up to now 336. So the next key then went very smoothly indeed. This was a plus through Cinder Brew Meadery. Not much to say about this really. We got this one done. We 2-chested this one really comfortably. Yeah, this was all right for one of the new dungeons. Quite like this. +182 score. Up to a whopping 518. Next, we went into the Rookery and took on the Monstrosity, and because I don't really know the routes at this point, that even in this +3, I've managed to leave us about 4% short on count. So we're going to charge over there, take all this lot out, and that'll be another +3 done for us, giving us another +182, taking our mythic score up to around 700. Finding our way then into a +3 Motherlode, and this Peacekeeper is one that you should skip off to the right. We'll come to that tech a little bit later in the video, but I really was not very confident in this dungeon at all. Pulled some of that stuff, some extra stuff got pulled. There's a charge shield coming down from the Peacekeeper. I've got no mitigation up at all, and I get blasted for basically 5.5 million. So that is the end. That is the end of me. Well played on my part. So in that very same run, I got ourselves into this position where I just put together the worst pull you've ever seen. Far too much for us to be dealing with here. I have completely ran out of defensives, and that is going to be the end of that. So that's the second wipe, and that's probably my fault. And for the third time in this key, if I hadn't been crap enough throughout, I got us into another situation where we're fighting multiple Peacekeepers. Oh, dearie me. And at that stage, one of the party left. I do not blame you at all. I even tried to leave and went the wrong way to leave. Disaster. All my fault. Mostly my fault. Disaster. But the very next key jumped into a +4 Motherlode. Lessons were learned, confidence was pretty low, but we got the job done. Easy peasy, complete 5 mythic dungeons, achievement unlocked, thanks very much, +210, takes us up to 910, really nice group I said there, that's because I was less bad, we're getting there. Again, another one of the new dungeons, Priory, jumped in here at a +2. Again, just trying to find my feet with this, see how tanky the prop palette is. And we got this one done. It was only a 1 chest, but hey, it doesn't matter. It's all score at the end of the day. That gave us another 163 points. That takes us over the 1,000 mark up to 1,073. So next then was a +3 Floodgate. Again, one of the new ones. I do actually really like this dungeon. I find this final boss to be a good laugh. Lots of movement involved, and I think it's a pretty cool mechanic in there. I'm running all the way across there, and that is that done. We +2 that one, another 187 score, and a little bit of loot for us, takes up to 1,251. Next then, another one of the new ones for me anyway, Dark Flame Cleft. I haven't been here on previous expansions, so as was the way with previous runs, we got to the final boss, we killed that boss, and we still didn't have percentage, so we just scooted our way back around there, picked up that extra count, +182, 1,433. Moving into some kind of half respectable key levels now, we're in a level +5 workshop. And when the boxes land next to each other like this is a perfect example of what not to do. And clearly none of us thought this was going to happen because we all stood there. So the first box is going to explode and then you're going to be exposed to the venting flames of Cujo. That is probably going to be, something maybe I should have known or we all should have known or whatever. It doesn't matter. But now we know. Don't get caught out like I did, because if you stand right next to the box which is glowing, it's going to blow up and you're going to be in a whole world of trouble. But aside from that, there was 1 or 2 more deaths as the run went on, but there was no more wipes. And that was enough of that. That's a +5 workshop down. That gives us a whopping 63 score, building on the +2 we did at the start. Takes us just under 1,500, but 1,496. Okay, so we're back in another priory. This time it's a +4, and I've seen this boss go wrong on so many occasions. So first and foremost, if everyone can stack, then that'll keep the hammers in the same place. And then secondly, it's the soaking of these orbs. So I've soaked a couple of them. One of my colleagues has, one of my teammates has jumped in there, and then there is one left, and we've got so much time to get in there. The healer's gone down. That's caused confusion. No one goes in and soaks that last orb, and that is the end of that. Full team wipe. In my haste to try and make this key work, I then pulled in all 8 of the ads at the bottom of the stairs up into the boss, and this, we just did not have the ability for this. So I think a lot of us looked into that blinding flash and we were all stunned, and then there was all sorts of things going on. It all turned into a bit of a mess, and this was going to be another wipe. So we've got no chance of time in this mighty +4 now. But with a couple more deaths along the way, taking our total death count up to 19, we did eventually get Merprey down. So that is a +4, not timed, but should be a little bit of score for us, I think. Oh, it takes us Keystone Conqueror for Season 2. Nice, so we've got 20 score off that, so we've broken the 1,500 mark. We're up to 1,516. So next we found ourselves back in Theatre of Pain. We did manage to execute the skip properly this time. We had a rogue, so that meant that things went, just much better than the first time that we tried this. That was a +5, and that gave us a 46 score increase, 1,562, and a little bit of loot. Confidence is growing now. We're at an all-time high. We're in a +5 meadery, and we get this done with just 1 death. No probs at all. Now feeling better. +43 score takes us to 1,605. And talking of confidence being sky high, a Dark Flame Clef +6. I think this is the highest key that we've done of the season. At this time, I'd actually got the enemy forces percentage right, so we didn't have to go back, and we +2 this one pretty comfortably at a +57 score. Now we're back in the Rookery. It's a +6, and despite the fact that we're on the final boss, we're still just under 1% short of count yet again. So we're going to have to go for a bit of a run. Fortunately, we've not got too far to get back to, and we've got a minute and 40 to still be able to 2-chest this one. So that's us done in the Rookery then with a +56 score, taking us to 1,718. We're back in Meadery. It's a +7. Things are looking pretty good. We actually forgot to use Lust on the first boss. So the mage said, when do you want to do it? And I said, should we do a massive pull here? And then I got carried away like this was a +2 or something, and basically pulled about 70% of this room. We did not have the ability to get this done, mostly because you need to target the little, what are they called? There's those little explosive brew things, and it's just so difficult to click on them because there's so many health bars there. Anyway, they start going off left, right, and centre. That's the end of that. So even with Bloodlust, we were never getting that done, and that was me saying that that was too big. So yet again, all my fault. Now we did actually wipe again on this boss. IPA or IPA or whoever, get in the comments, let me know how you're supposed to say that. But I thought I was doing a half sensible job of kiting, and then one of the brew drops in the top right corner goes absolutely turbo, charges across, runs straight into him, and then we all get taken out. So I don't know if there's a bit of tech there that I'm not aware of, but yes, not the best. And then another wipe on Buzzy B. This ring thing hits like an absolute truck. Now I don't think I've really got any mitigation up at that point. I think I pretty much ran out of things, but oh, does Blessing of Spell Warding work on that? Oh, I need to test that out. But basically, I ran out of defensive at that point and then got absolutely splattered. And yet again, that is a full team wipe. So we're at 18 deaths now. It's only in a +7. Come on, man. Now, what would this run be without one more wipe? Now, what I will say is it was very, very late at night here. So I don't think that we're all kind of, I don't think this group was firing on all cylinders. But, the healer's kind of gone down. I've tried to CR the healer, but we've got 2 minutes still without a CR. Said that's not going to work, so I'm sort of trying to keep people topped a little bit, which is only going to get us so far, especially when they go to the intermission phase. I don't really think we're going to be able to keep everybody topped. So doing doing my best here, valiant job. Like I say, it is pretty late at night. Someone's asking if we've got a res. We haven't got a res. The res is coming on the way. It's going to be 1 minute. Because I'm typing, I've then been hit by one of the lava balls. Look, it was a complete disaster. We move on. As you'll see by the death counter, then we're at 33 deaths. I don't need to talk you through every single death. It was a bit of a shambles, wasn't it? And as you can see, there's only me and the healer alive. We're trying to get this done between the two of us. We've got no battle reses. All the DPS are dead. And eventually we crawl over the line. 16 minutes over time. I don't think there's going to be much score from that. Yeah, no score from that at all. That was a good learning curve, but it was a bit of a mess in fairness. Not too much to say about this +7 workshop, apart from this interesting little warlock skip here, which I'm not 100% sure what happened, but I cannot click on this portal, which is bad news, I'm afraid, for the paladin who's gone over, and also equally bad news for the warlock who's gone over, because I just cannot click on this portal. It just won't go, and it's not working for the priest healer either. So we're stuck here, and unfortunately, two of our colleagues have died, so we're going to have to wait for them to come back, and we're going to have to go through this slow time. And when I say go through this slow time, what I mean by that is we are going to attempt to mind soothe skip this pack here, because we just don't need it. We're almost at 100% enemy forces, so we're going to wait, and then they'll all be mind soothed, and it'll just be easy enough to walk past them, won't it? Surely, what can possibly go wrong? Well, I don't really know what can go wrong, apart from you could just pull the whole lot, and then we will laugh about it. And then, do you know what? We've got 9 minutes. We'll just fight absolutely everything, and we'll finish it the long way. And finish it the long way is exactly what we do. I almost died there, but let's not talk about that. I think what this would have been was fairly comfortable +2, but it ended up being a really, really comfortable +1. Of a 7, gives us 41 score, takes us up to 1,759. So we're in a +8 priory, and yet again this boss causing us problems with the soaking or the lack of soakings. All sorts going on. There's hammers all over the place, people not soaking. Look, that's not a blame thing, that's me not soaking or whatever. I mean, that was bad. It was pretty bad, but we are where we are. I think we're still kind of learning this one, and when I say we, I mean people in general, I think, because I've seen lots of problems on this boss. And despite having 15 deaths, the boss has got 7% health. We've got 8 seconds to go, and it's looking like it's going to be pretty tight. Can we get it done? Last couple of percentage, things are getting pretty tense. We've got 1% to go. We've got 1 second on the clock, and we just cannot get it done. Oh, that was just painful. That was absolutely painful. It says we're 3 seconds over time. We absolutely were not 3 seconds over time. I think we're like a second over. But it's a +77 score because our priority was super, super low. It takes us up to 1,836. And as I wrote there, that hurts. So we find ourselves here in a level 8 motherlode. I'm sorting out this pull on the left, and I think the chamois healer's body pulled everything that's inside the little, inside that little garagey warehouse looking thing there, which is not good news for us, because all sorts of things have come flying out of there, which unfortunately has a second peacekeeper. So this is going to be pretty difficult to, to get ourselves through. I've popped all sorts of defensives. I've got wings running, bubbles up at one point. We've got all sorts going on here, but for us to get through, this is going to be a pretty special effort. And despite the fact I've got other cooldowns that I could have used for one reason or another, it didn't happen, and that is going to be a wipe. Now, the second boss here, Azarok, this boss is really not that difficult, but for some reason, people stopped focusing the ad that's got a massive skull marker on it. So naturally, when he did his resonating quake or whatever it's called, we were absolutely melted. The team was absolutely thrilled with that. But anyway, we continue. Now we've got 15 deaths on the board. The boss is at 11% health. We've got 20 seconds to go. Can we get this done? Things are going to be looking pretty tight here. And what I'd completely forgotten about at this point was that the boss actually pops out of his little flying mobile thing, and then you've got to kill the boss. So I was thinking that this is all looking quite good, isn't it? Job done. I was like, there you go, 0%, happy days, we've got 5 seconds. I was like, oh shit, no, now we've got to kill the boss. We've got 2 seconds, we've got 1 second. We have timed, the timer got down to 0, But we've plus one it. So the earlier robbery in the Priory, I'm pretty sure it was a robbery, but we got away with it. I say easy, it was absolutely not. Plus 65 takes us to 1900. Floodgate plus 5. Plus 5 is a little bit low for where we are, but I couldn't get into any other keys because my Floodgate was so low. And on everyone's favourite boss, Swampface, what could possibly go wrong? Now, the Warlock does go down here. Now, it turned out that the Warlock went down a few times. It turned out that the Warlock only got the achievement for completing this on Mythic difficulty at the end of this run. So I think there was a bit of a mechanics understanding issue that was going on a little bit. Priest grabbed me over. I could have done with staying over there, really, so I could have got rid of all of the Ascendants. But anyway, that's fine. We are going to battle res the Warlock. Hopefully the Warlock is going to accept that. I am now tethered to someone, which as the tank, that is not my job to be tethered to someone. I want to be running around just doing my own thing and not dealing with the mechanics. Death Knight goes down. Warlock's back up. This is not looking all that clean, given we're at 65% health still. Everybody dodge left, which was the aim of the game, which is good. We all get that. I think, is the healer dead as well? The healer is dead, so now there's only 3 of us. This is not going to work. In a completely non-cleanest way, with 13 deaths, we time this plus 5 with over 3.5 minutes to go. And even though it's a plus 5, that is going to give me, how much score are we getting off that one? 41, takes me up to 1942. So I was just saying there, sorry for your key, because someone was talking about leaving earlier on because we'd thrown it away, but we carried on. We got there in the end, really, really comfortably. Nice one. Only 58 score to go. Plus 7 Theatre of Pain then. Not really any dramas in this. We had the odd little death here and there, but other than that, Mordretha going down pretty easily. We do only one chest hit, but I think we still had how long did we have? About 4 or 5 minutes left to go on that one. Plus 41 score takes us up to 1983. Level 7 Meadery then, and this damn boss again. So I'm carrying this boss away from these ads, and I'm pretty sure that the RNG shafted me big time here, because I'm away, we're moving away, all's looking good. And then that ad has just spawned on the right hand side there and immediately walked into IPA, blown up, and that has like killed everybody. So I think that was a bit of a robbery. But if you think that was just rubbish play for me, then that's cool. But let me know, how could I have avoided that? I just feel like we got a bit unlucky. And a similar story on Buzz B. I need to just work. I just need to have a better defensive rotation. I'm using the wrong ones at the wrong times. But I run away here. I've got no cooldowns left, and that like lava puddle goes off, absolutely demolishes me for like, what's that, about 8.5 million health. I get res, but by the time I get res, there's too many ads. I just can't get the aggro back on everyone, and that's unfortunately is going to be the end of that. But the team, a bunch of good eggs in the pug world, got it completed at the end, like 2.5 minutes overtime. Bit disappointing to have died on Buzz B boss again, but it does get me to Keystone Master. It does get me the Crimson Shredder tank, but that's not where the video ends, because I'm not getting to 2k on a failed timer, so we're going to do one more. So the final key of the video is going to be a +6 Floodgate. We had a few deaths on this one, but nothing too serious. Nothing too serious at all. That is how we're going to do that. I do quite like this boss, like I said before. I do like the movement of it. I do like the mechanics of it. But that is going to be how we get that one done. So that was all in week 1. We're going to press on. We're going to try and get ourselves 2,500 up towards 3k. A little bit of loot for us there. That trinket is absolutely mega. That's S tier for us. +16, 2018. Anyway, stick with it on the journey. I think we're going to try and push for 3k. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.